Hello, this is my second entry to my video diary over the summer. I have just dyed my hair, so I've got back some of my passion for color because I think my outward appearance oftentimes directly correlates to my inner appearance. So I try to look nice all the time. So I got 2 sketchbooks and I've been trying like different things, a lot of like one-line stuff or just really abstract stuff. Hold on, let me get my other one. So I will, in this entry, show you some of my art, and some is improvement, some is almost, in my mind, a step backwards. So this is one of them. This is a really big improvement, I think. I think it's got really interesting, I think it's really cool. I think the background could have probably been a bit more innovative. I could have actually said something important, but it's just art over and over again in my poor handwriting. But then there's like a one-line face in red and a one-line face in blue. And then there's like details in white and gray. I'm using Posca markers, which have been like a new favorite of mine. That's what this cover is as well. It's got BTS stickers on it, which is super cute. I've got an eye over here, just a BTS over here, and this is my initials. And then over here, obviously you can't read it, but it says, "This is not the cover." Chloe Allen, that's my name. This is the one I've been working in mostly. I'll show you what's in this one though, because there's only one. One of my ideas for a piece, but I want it to be on this really big thing. It's like 18 by 24. Is the Aesop's fable Jackdaw and Peacocks. I like the message behind it a lot. This is kind of my practice for a bird. I'm like really bad at animals and stuff, and I was thinking like, what style should I do it in? This is obviously not it, but it's a start. That's all that's in this sketchbook, like literally it. I mean, I like this small size, but it's a bit limiting. But I've got lots of materials that I stocked up over the school year. So my first page is this. Just some leaves, a quick face, and then a more detailed eye, and then my sunglasses. I was gonna start a still life in the corner, and then I thought, if I'm gonna commit that hard, I should actually do a piece. But I'm not gonna do a still life because I don't like them. This one is really cool. I'm actually really proud of this one. I think it's very interesting. I don't know about the words. I do like them, and I think they tie together the core message and really create an interesting color, which is much more dull than I'm used to. But I'm happy with it. It says stop calling it a gift, because I just don't like when people call art or being an artist a gift, because just like everyone, I wasn't born good at it. I wasn't like handed it like, here, you're suddenly good at it. I worked really hard, and every step you can see my improvement. Or backtrack. That's just a short little rant. This one I think is also a little bit of a step back. I don't think it's very good. I think it's really boring, and the colors are very muddy and not fun. I was trying to create a different mood, but I think I need to work with color. I mean, like, I know I'm good at watercolor, but I think I need to mix colors more. This is another one. This is gouache instead. I think the idea was there. The execution was not. I was inspired by another artist. I was trying to like emulate her style and what she was doing, because sometimes I find myself inspired when I copy. I don't approve of copying. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's right. But I think that sometimes copying or even tracing, when used in the right way, can be really important for growth. I mean, if I had never seen an Impressionist painting, I would have never thought to use so much color or line or anything like that. We learn from each other. If no one ever looked at anyone's paintings, we'd probably still be at cave paintings, I think. But yeah, so I had the idea there. I really probably could have paid more attention or put more effort into it. It might have come out. I don't really know if it's me. Maybe that's the issue. I'm really trying to go really like fantasy surrealism, kind of, and you can kind of see that in some of the next paintings. This one's just a quick sketch. This is all me. I was trying to, I saw a prompt, it's like, what are you gonna do in the next month or something? What are you gonna look like or something like that? I don't remember, it was on the internet. And soon I will be going to a beachy area. I don't know if I'll actually go to the beach, but I drew myself in the swimsuit that I bought. It's just a sketch. There's nothing really special about it, but I do enjoy that I did attempt to do a background, which is something you'll notice I rarely do. I don't really like backgrounds. That's another one that I've been trying to practice. Here's one that I'm actually very proud of. It's ink. I have this ink that's really cool, but I don't know where it came from, and I don't know what it's called, so I can never get any more of it. So I use it sparingly. So I use the background. And you can see some places where I actually did splatter white, and you can see some other areas where it's the absence, and it's so cool. I like this right here. I think it's really interesting, creates a lot of movement. And then I did another one of those one-line faces. Oh, this is probably my favorite, one of my favorites in this one. It goes like this. I was feeling tree, but every time I look at it, I see something different. Sometimes I see smoke, sometimes I'm thinking figure eight, sometimes I'm thinking just like chaos. But I feel like it's not an unhappy painting. I feel like there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of darkness in it, but I think sometimes the feeling you have when you make something, especially when it comes to abstract paintings, doesn't necessarily, I think that translates into what you're doing. If you're like, I go into abstracts with a feeling, not an intention, because I found that if I have an intention on how they're going to turn out, I feel this way a lot. That's kind of how I go about painting. But if I have an intention on how it's going to turn out at the end, I find I'm very disappointed in myself, and I feel I didn't do very well. And I think that's where a lot of mine are, like, where I do try and use a reference, or I attempt to copy someone without really putting my full effort into it. I don't like them at all. So that's one of the reasons. I think, especially because of the medium I've chosen and the kind of art that I do, which is, I've chosen, well, I mean, of course I work in every medium, but I really love watercolor. I've got so many watercolors. They went everywhere. I'll pick them up real quick. They go everywhere, and what am I saying? My brain. Stop. Okay, let's backtrack. I think because I chose watercolor as the medium to work with, I also kind of chose to let go of control, because I feel like people who an artist's main medium reflects their personality, or the type of, or how they think about art. I think someone who does colored pencil is very, I wouldn't say a control freak, but I think they're very much, they know what they want and they know how to get it. As colored pencil, you make a mark, it's a mark. The mark will not change, the mark will not move, it's just a mark. You're intentional about it. Watercolor is the opposite of that, I think. I think that because it bleeds and it runs and it pools, and the way you put the paint down is not going to be the way it looks when it dries. So I like that about it, but some people really hate that. Oil paint is contemplative, I think. I think it's because it doesn't dry quickly. You have time to make decisions, and I think oil paintings are beautiful. It's not for me. I'm impatient, but they're very contemplative. Everything is consciously done. Everything is like, I know what I want to do, but if I don't, I can change my mind later. By the time an oil painting is finished, if it ever is, I think that artist knows that it's done. They're like, it's done. I think there are lots of other things. Acrylics, I don't even know. I don't like acrylics. I like acrylic paint markers. I don't really like painting in them. I don't know. I don't like it. They're fun for abstracts, but I don't like them as like regular stuff. Here's another one I did. This is another one where I was inspired by an artist. I don't remember her name, but I really just like, what her art is the direction where I want to go. I don't know if I'll ever get there. My art tends to evolve on its own, but I like it. It definitely pushed my color palette in that I don't really use a whole lot of purple, and I never use green. Yeah. there's a lot happening. She's a giant woman in a lake and her face is falling off, and there's little blue hands that are like comforting her. And there's like a purple mountain range and a purple lake, and there's like teal hills. Here's one I did today with this is actually not really that intentional. I was just trying to like experiment with this new pen. It's one of the Posca paint markers, but it's not like these like hard tip little things where they're like felt tip hard things, or one of these plastic ones where it's like little, this is also a new one, but that's just because I needed it. It's a brush, which I like brush pens, but it's very different from what I'm used to. It kind of dries out quickly, but it's just a quick figure drawing. When I was little and I actually started getting into drawing a lot, there's a sculpture where I live of these like dancing, there's a couple of them now that I think of it. One by a library is the one I'm talking about though. Of these people, these giant white people dancing together. Not their race, they're physically all white and they're gigantic. Here's just whatever. Sometimes I just do nonsense on the back of it. Just write words that somehow make sentences. They don't mean anything. This is one I did just now. I'm actually quite happy with it. I think, of course, you're seeing everything in the reflection of what it really is. I think it's very much me stylistically. The hair might have been the wrong color. And me visually, because it's my face. I wish I had more models. Hold on. I wish I had more models and stuff, but I really just have me. So I'm the only one that really knows like what I want with my art. Hold on. Don't come in here or talk, I'm busy.
Is this just all we got?
Just don't come in here and talk, I'm busy.
Are you doing things good?
I'm making a video. I don't know how to edit things, so that's just gonna stay in there. What else is there? That's the most recent one in here. It's just watercolor. I wasn't using gouache or anything. Now that I'm looking at it, this kind of looks like a mustache, so it's kind of fun. I laid it really thick. You can kind of see it gets really shiny. I don't know, I kind of like it. It's very impressionist, I think, but obvious. I feel like my art is more impressionist, but I want to move it towards surrealist because I like surrealism. What else is there? I also did this one as a quick sketch. It didn't really turn out how I wanted it to, so I'm gonna trash it. It was, anytime I do a piece on like a piece of paper, I want it to be like a piece. Like it's going to be a thing. This is a sketchbook, so nothing has to be perfect, and there will be pieces in it like this one, but sometimes it's just gonna be left unfinished. Some people, I admire people who have like really good sketchbooks, and by good I mean like, I don't know, they're like explorative, learning, experimental. I've been trying to do that, but oftentimes like my sketchbooks go from being like a bunch of random doodles to like full-on pieces, and I really want something like in between, or not at all. I do really good planning pages though, but I have to like know what's going on first, and I never, like rarely do I know what's going on when I'm starting something. I think, in conclusion, from last time, I wanted to work on composition and just being more interesting. I don't know if I think I'm figuring out composition more. Maybe. I think ones of what I showed you today that have really good composition are this one. I think this is good composition. I think there's movement in it. I think it's got kind of symmetry, but more like asymmetry, which is personally my favorite. I think this is good composition, but obviously it's not super original, so I can't take full credit for that because I was inspired by something else. And I think this one has pretty good composition because it's all over here, but it's got good color. Interesting, unique, original. I'm still working on it. I don't feel like I'm having any original ideas yet. I've got like something in the works, but like oftentimes when I do have ideas, I find that they weren't as good as I thought they were, or the execution is poor. So I'll catch up next time. That's it.